Hej och välkomna till Videohjälpen. Oh my god, I suck at this, I guess. We're supposed to talk English, but it's alright, because we're here, right? So, with me I have two amazing gaming profiles and cosplayers, and I will let you introduce yourselves.
Oh, you can start.
Do you want me to start?
Yeah, you can start.
All right.
Let's go ahead.
I'm basically Iron Man, except I don't have an exam in engineering. I'm not especially smart, I'm not charming, and I don't have a superhero costume. But other than that, I'm Iron Man. Oh, sorry, I promise I'm gonna be serious this time. My name is Kimberly. I also go under Fake Nerd Girl on social media. I've been working in the gaming industry for a couple of years. Blizzard, Bandai Namco, Riot, I've done it all basically. And my absolute favorite game of all time, don't judge me, is Wave Race to Nintendo 64.
Odd choice,
all right.
but it's a good choice.
It's a good choice. It's a good choice.
I guess you could say I was a gamer, and then I found cosplay, and now I don't have time for games anymore.
Except games when you play like a worm against other worms.
Yeah. All right.
Or when you are a game, I guess.
Yeah. So I usually go by the name Toka. That's my artist name or cosplay name, but my real name is Malin. I love to cosplay stuff from games, so sometimes I realize that, hey, I need to play more games again because I don't know what to cosplay anymore. Yeah.
So welcome both to the live stream.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're here to raise awareness for Musikhjälpen and Videohjälpen, and we hope all of you can help to donate, because it's a very important cause this year against trafficking and kids in trafficking. So let's just kick this off, I guess. I'm just curious for you how it was when you started gaming compared to now. So maybe just one of you can start off. Like, where did you start in gaming, and how was the environment for you when you started out in gaming?
I guess when I started gaming, it was mostly just single-player games. I didn't have to deal with other players, you know.
Didn't have to deal with chat?
No, but then I started to play Warcraft 3, Frozen Throne.
Oh,
I
that's
played
amazing.
like, I'm old.
Sorry.
I played Dota 1. Oh my god.
Well, everything is relative, right?
Yeah, and then do you want us to relate like how it was to play games?
Both as a person and as in game, like what was the... What did your
related
friends think about you
to me
gaming?
being a girl?
No,
Or
not just that, like
anything?
as a person,
How
like...
it was? Yeah. I didn't you know, chat a lot with the other players at first. I remember being very, very shy. I didn't dare to use TeamSpeak, or maybe I was just listening or something. And then I realized it wasn't too dangerous to talk to other people. But I love playing Warcraft 3 and lots of World of Warcraft. I played too much World of Warcraft.
Like 10,000 hours worth, or?
I don't know, but I've played since vanilla. And I'm one of those who like, World of Warcraft is too easy now. I want to play the old one.
Are you excited for the announcement from BlizzCon with Vanilla?
Yeah, a little bit. I might. Yes.
Yes.
So you're one of the hardcore players. You want it more hard than easy.
Yes, I want it to be a bit difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
what did your friends think about you having a passion for gaming and being more of a nerd and stuff like that?
Some people, they're like, what? Shouldn't you do other stuff, like go party or something? But actually, sometimes...
Raid party.
Raid party, yeah.
It actually has party in the name.
For a while, the perfect Friday was just being able to go home and sit in front of the computer and meet my friends there instead.
Nice. But I mean, like, did other girls think it was weird doing gaming, or did you have mostly male friends that did gaming?
I mean, I don't really think of it that way. Some girls were like, hey, what's the fun with this? So I guess I had most male online friends for a while, but that didn't bother me.
But as well.
Yeah, hello.
So, how long have you known each other?
1 year?
No.
2 years? 1.5?
3? 2?
Is it
2 years? 2 years.
Okay. So what was your experience? Like, guys and girls? What did they think about you being a nerd gamer girl?
Like, honestly, I've always been the type of girl that hangs out with guys. It's
I can relate to that.
yeah, I don't know why. It's just that sort of way. I even have guy friends now, like real life. Like, oh wait, we're going to this like climbing center and we're gonna do rock climbing or whatever. And they start walking into the male dressing room and they turn to me and goes like, oh yeah, you can't come in here. So like, everyone mostly thinks of me as a guy, and I've always been one of the guys. It's never been a weird thing, and I've never hang out with girls until I discovered cosplay, really.
Okay. So did like the school friends think it was weird you were home reading on Fridays rather than going and getting drunk?
No, because they were doing the same.
Nice. I guess you were more fortunate than me. I had like 2 or 3 nerd friends all through high school or college or whatever you call it in Swedish.
I didn't hang with people that weren't nerds. Like the few other people I hang out with, they were nerds, like doing a lot of swimming or sports that way, and I did that as well. I don't know. I think I was a really fortunate gamer in that sort of sense, but I also had my uncle growing up who was a pro StarCraft player at that time. StarCraft 1 runs in the blood. Yeah. So
but already then you knew that you could be a pro gamer. Basically.
Yeah. He's just a couple of years older than me.
So what year is this?
2006.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Then you were a bit late, because I thought I was late, and I was like 2001, Quake 3 Nordic Championship.
No.
Lakerman won $15,000 in Stockholm. So that was my first experience of the competitive scene.
Gaming by then, but it wasn't like I was in hardcore until 2005, really. Yeah. And by then I was just 15, something like that, I think.
Okay, so here comes a really infected question. What's your favorite console and why? What is closest to your heart?
For me personally, I'm gonna say Nintendo 64, but that's just because my entire family used to play Nintendo 64 together. And as soon as I moved to Sweden from Cyprus with my mom, and we met up with my aunt and my grandma, we used to play Nintendo 64, and the first Swedish word I learned was hoppa! Just because my grandma always told my aunts to hoppa! Or, well, jump.
Yeah.
So it just holds a special place in my heart because of that.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know how to decide actually. I remember the old Super Nintendo because I never had a console on my own until like 1 year ago when I bought one myself, because my dad was always like, no, computers are bad. Gaming is bad. I was like, ooh. Okay. So, but I always went to friends' places to play, and we played on the Super Nintendo, like Donkey Kong and stuff. And then PlayStation 2, I love the SSX, the snowboard games.
SSX was cool.
SSX was cool, yeah.
Did anyone ever beat like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
I don't remember.
I did beat a lot of hard games on 8-bit Nintendo though, because you had to replay the entire game if you died. So that fostered you into gaming pretty hardcore. But I have to say, like, for me it's probably the 8-bit, but also the Nintendo 64 and SNES mainly, but 64 for Ocarina of Time, of course. We got Ocarina of Time, Super Mario 64 and Nintendo 64 that Christmas.
Did you ever finish Majora's Mask?
No. It's way too complicated for me, like 10,000 different masks and time travel, and I don't know, I can't keep track of all of it, so...
I actually, like, honest to God, I love that game so much, but I could not finish it after the part where you were supposed to take, like, the faces of dead people. Do you remember that part?
Don't think I got even that far, but my younger brothers, they played that to death. But
it was like a couple of hours into the game, you had to take the faces of dead people. And that freaked me out. Like, I was 8, 9 years old, and I'm going there, like, taking faces of dead people. Nope, never finished it after that. Still
well, that is kind of scary, though.
Yes!
So, I guess we're kind of in the Nintendo realm. For you, it was, what console is it?
I would say I lean more towards PlayStation.
Okay, yeah. So the follow-up question would obviously be, what's your favorite game of all time? We're gonna do 3 games, so... Who wanna start with that one?
Ooh, so we are allowed to do 3 games each?
3 games.
3 games each. I have to say World of Warcraft is one of them because I spent so much time with it. And then probably a very recent game actually, Horizon Zero Dawn.
That's a cool game.
That's a cool game. The main quest and the story of that game is like super intriguing, and I actually skipped all the side quests because I wanted to know what happened in the main quests. So, and then it's a very, very old, unknown game. I don't know if this was like from '94 or something. It's called The Neverhood.
I love that game.
It's animated with stop motion clay figures and stuff like that, and
I think they did a remake on it recently. I'm
there
not
was
sure
some
about
kind
that.
of remake, and the music is very, very special, and you're this man made out of clay somehow walking around, and
I remember
kind
playing that and I was like, these graphics are insane. I was like, oh, it's clay.
yeah, exactly.
But at that time, the
Yeah.
graphics weren't that
Yeah.
advanced, and all of a sudden, like something really high res was walking around the screen. So.
So,
Yeah.
I'm so happy someone else knows this game.
Well, I'm also old, I guess. I'm 32 years old, so, and I've been gaming since '97. So, what are your games?
The thing is, if you ask me today, you're gonna get one response. If you ask tomorrow, you're probably gonna get a whole nother response.
But this is of all time.
Yeah, but I can't.
Up to this point.
No.
You have to.
It's
Does it help if you can pick 10 of them?
yeah. Well, Wave Race to Nintendo 64 is one of them, but it's a really odd game.
Is it like Wipeout on water, basically?
Pardon?
Isn't it like Wipeout but on water with water scooters?
Yeah, water scooters,
Yeah.
racing game.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I had at that time like video games were still pretty new, and I was one of the few in my school that had a console basically. So a lot of my classmates used to join up at my house just to play games, and Wave Race was one of those games that everyone could play because it's not hard to get into. Everyone can get into it.
Yeah.
So it just holds a lot of memories for me as long.
But it's very competitive because it's a racing game, right?
Yes, but it's still very funny. You can do all the tricks, and also like one of the last courses in it has not a walrus. What are the black and white wall names?
Killer whales.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly. Has one of those in it, and it looks like so amazing. At that time, the graphic was insane.
Yeah.
So it was basically you drove up to it and you could see this killer whale just diving and the water splashing everywhere. If you would see it now, you think it looks like shit. But at that time, it was freaking amazing.
Yeah. Obviously. So that's maybe number one then
Yeah,
for you?
that's
so
definitely number
the
one.
other two games then?
Come on, you can do it.
Well, StarCraft has to be one of them. That's how it is.
Yeah.
I can't choose a specific. StarCraft 1. StarCraft 1 definitely, and Quake.
Yeah, Quake is awesome.
So I'm gonna.
No
start
gaming
with-
without Quake.
Exactly.
First multiplayer game.
And Quake was in many ways what started off esports as well.
First 3D game, first multiplayer game.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll stop by those because I'm gonna start ranting about every other game that exists otherwise.
I have one that's not on your list though. I think Half-Life. Well, for me it was, because you were basically playing a movie, and the narrative in games before that was basically you shoot someone in the face. And in Half-Life...
That's what's fun!
yeah, but you do that in Half-Life as well, but it has a narrative, a story, cinematography. And it spawned Counter-Strike, which is a very, very fun game. Quake is in there for me as well. The third one, I don't really know, but those two are one of the most important games for me. And
Yeah.
StarCraft as well. So, yeah, cool. We're gonna talk a bit about being a nerd and what that means for you. If you identify with being a nerd, or if you feel, because it's become more mainstream, as we talked about. Like when I was playing in '97, like you were stupid if you were home playing video games, because I was living in a rural area with like 300 people. And what you did then is you went out and you partied your ass off. That's what you did. You didn't play Quake or StarCraft or Counter-Strike. So how do you think about these things? Like today, obviously it's more mainstream, but it's still less mainstream for girls, I think, even though a lot of girls are playing.
I'm gonna jump right into it if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
For me, quite recently I actually changed my old nickname that had been with me for almost 10 years. I used to nickname Xuan, now I nickname Fake Nerd Girl, and it's a statement for me that a lot of people, especially today, talk about nerds being, you're a fake nerd because you cosplay and you don't play the game. You know, all these discussions. And all the discussions about girls with big cleavages on Twitch, or all the discussions with like handsome guys that started streaming. There's one of these actors, Swedish actors, that's... What's his name?
One
He's
of
in
the
Vikings.
Skarsgård?
Yeah, his son.
Bill Skarsgård.
Some Skarsgård.
Maybe. Yeah.
One of them has started streaming on Twitch as well, and they always
Really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's super cool. I'll link it to you.
Yeah.
And they talk about it being like, they're just fakes. They're trying to get into the industry because there's a lot of money into it, or they talk about big companies that go into esports like MTG and so on because there's a lot of money in gaming and esports. And I kind of feel like everyone, it doesn't matter how much you're into gaming, as long as you show an interest in gaming, comics, whatever, you're still a nerd, and you should be proud of that. There's no one called fake, because you can't be fake. Like, your Reaper costume is freaking amazing.
Thank you.
You're gonna see it later on, and that's amazing, but there's probably people out there that's played Overwatch more than you. And
Of course. I have to admit, I'm only level 4 in Overwatch because FPS games is not really my thing, but I have played it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It doesn't make you less of a Overwatch nerd. It still makes you an Overwatch
I
nerd.
probably know more about the lore than the general Overwatch player.
Yeah, I only play the game and shoot people in the face.
Yeah, but seriously, do you think she would spend, like, how many hours have you spent on that costume?
I don't know. I would estimate about maybe 300 to 400 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would she have spent that if she wasn't a nerd about it?
No, of
like,
course.
it doesn't matter.
But I think where this discussion originates is basically a lot of people coming into gaming or esports or the business because it's money there, not because they are real legitimate fans. But we had this discussion before, and I think it's just positive that more people are getting into it.
Definitely. And so being a nerd in every way is just positive. And it's super fun. Being a nerd, I would not have met you if we weren't nerds. I would definitely not have met you.
No, we actually met in an interview in Gothenburg
Exactly.
at an esport event.
So being a nerd is positive in every aspect. There's nothing bad about it. And I wouldn't even say there's anyone that uses nerd as a bad thing today, especially with Big Bang Theory.
Well, it's become the opposite. It's kind of like you're cool because you're basically Einstein if you're a nerd these
Exactly.
days.
And that's awesome. Like, be proud of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can say I moved to Stockholm 2 years ago, and I would say that probably 90...
These 2 years we've known each other. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Boom!
But I would say that probably 90% of the people that I've got to know up here probably would say they are nerds. Or are related to cosplay or gaming in some way or another.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just been a great way to meet people, actually.
But like, do you feel like a nerd yourself? I mean, I don't think about it that way. I just do stuff I like, I guess.
I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I would say I'm a nerd, but the only like context that I actually say that I'm a nerd is like, hey, I'm a Star Wars nerd. That's when I actually use that word, nerd. Because otherwise it's like, yeah, I like to play games, I like to do cosplay, I like weird jokes with, stuff that only some people will recognize if you played this particular game and stuff like that. But I don't think so much about it.
It's funny you say that, because for me, I use the word hardcore or competitive gamer a lot more than actual nerd, because I don't know. Because
nerd, you can be nerd about so many things. You could be nerd about, what do I know, collecting coins or something.
Playing Magic the
I'm a
Gathering.
nerd in dinosaurs as well.
I just started playing Magic the Gathering.
You're a
That's
dinosaur
pretty,
nerd.
Yeah.
What do I know?
There are dinosaurs in Magic the Gathering, though, in this Magic the Gathering.
Magic the Gathering is so good.
It's pretty nerdy. It is in South Park, though. I just watched that South Park episode.
I never watched South Park.
You never watched South Park? Why?
Honestly, like, I can see the humor in it, but one of the first episodes, I tried to watch South Park, and one of the first episodes I saw was like, there was aliens, and they couldn't have sex and replicate because they didn't have genitals. And they solved this somehow, and then out of this alien it just started shooting out babies, and there was blood and poop and stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, there can be pretty pubertal.
Yeah, it's... I like Spider-Man.
Like Spider-Man. Spider-Man's cool.
That's...
So, like, when we talk about this hardcore gaming, competitive gaming, like, do you guys feel like you're both competitive gamers, or are you more like casual, or like, where do you see yourself?
When it comes to actual gaming, I would say I'm very casual gamer. But when it comes to cosplay, I would say I'm probably a hardcore cosplayer, or at least a try-hard cosplayer. I don't know.
She's the best in Sweden.
Yeah, she's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
She won the Blizzard cosplay competition at Gamescom, I'm just saying. Or
No, I didn't win.
You came third place.
Yeah, I got third place.
It's like winning, basically, for those who don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you guys.
So, before we start, we obviously have a lot of giveaways we're gonna do here. Before we get into that, I'm just gonna remind everyone why we're here. We're here to try and help people that can't help themselves. So, please donate. Please. You can see the Swish number on the table, and we're also gonna tell you how you can be in the giveaways, of course. And it's important cause, so any amount of money helps. So get out your phones, guys. Before we present the giveaway, I was just wanna get your thoughts about the whole mobile gaming thing, because I actually realized there was basically League of Legends on your phone now, and it's called Arena of Valor, and it's really, really good. Because my only gripe with mobile gaming has been it's not really good gameplay. So what do you guys think about this? Do you play on the phone, or like...
Sonny, when you can create a phone with good battery times, we can start talking about games to phones.
Yeah, well, there are also
Are you
other
done now?
manufacturers of phones, you know.
And all other
Yeah, true.
I don't play very much on my cell phone anymore. I don't know, to me, like you said, the League of Legends, but for, what was it called?
Arena of Valor is
Yeah, that's the name, yeah.
and the gameplay is super tight, and it actually works.
It
Because
actually
no other
works.
game actually works on phone.
I must admit that I haven't tried like multiplayer games on my cell phone.
They had a...
Maybe I played more like retro style games on my phone.
Yeah, you can actually play all the retro games on ROM hacks or ROM...
Yeah. And that can be kind of fun, but social media got me. I always hang out on Instagram instead.
Do you think Instagram is a girl thing, though? Cause
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
I
But,
look at a lot of guys on Instagram, just saying.
Because I'm like very late to the Instagram party, to be honest. But
Yeah,
I've
but you're
been...
old.
Wow, thank you, I guess. But I'm liking it more and more, definitely. But what I would say is like King got bought up for like 50 billion Swedish kronor by Activision Blizzard, who bought them.
Instagram.
No, King,
Oh.
who makes mobile games, because we were talking about mobile games, right?
Yeah.
So I think they're one of the most highly valued gaming development countries. I guess except Tencent, who owns Arena Valor, and they also own Riot, I think, Tencent. They have infinite amounts of cash. Yeah, they're the biggest developer or publisher in China.
They might do. I have no idea.
They have
to be
like $5
honest.
billion on their bank account.
Why have you looked into their bank accounts?
Because
would
I
you like to
read
find
business
us?
news, you know? I'm in the business of games, esports, gaming.
I'm also into the business, but I don't care how much money
No,
someone pays.
but I mean, they're big. They could just do
Yeah,
whatever they
definitely,
want.
definitely.
Someone once told me like Arena Valor, that's a League of Legends ripoff. I was like, yeah, they actually own League of Legends, so they're ripping themselves off, I guess.
Why not?
So yeah, but we are gonna present different giveaways you can be competing for if you donate. So we are gonna head up and show you the different packages, I guess.
Or Aron is gonna go up and show you.
I guess.
Should we help?
I can point and you can talk.
Yeah, true.
So we do like in these old commercials.
Yeah, so the first package you can win is obviously the most attractive one because it has a property mousepad, not available anywhere yet. It's a first print. Pretty cool. I actually tried Quake on it. I was actually better, so it's not just good looking, it actually makes you a better gamer as well. And since it's actually pretty cold outside now, I'm actually freezing to death. Like 200 meters I walk to the bus. So obviously you need a hat, and you're also having a chance to win that.
Super fancy TV show.
Yeah, I can see that. And well, winter is long, but it's not that long, and in the summer you're gonna need a cap, right?
Of course you need a cap.
Yeah.
You did not go for the winter is coming.
Well, winter is already here. Let's face it, it's not coming anymore. And then it's Cards Against Humanity, and a power bank is the first package you can be part of competing for in the giveaway. And to compete for that package, all you need to do is to swish an amount to the Videohjälpen bössan. Didn't find a good word for that. And then you do a hashtag PTY, property short form, and then you give us a rim. What is that called in English? A limerick? Is that called? Rhyme. Rhyme or reason. Nice. Our producer is amazing, by the way. A rhyme for the package you want, and the best rhyme is gonna win that package. And it's pretty amazing merch. I would want a mousepad myself. I don't have one right now, so you guys can win that. The second package is basically which one was that?
Is it this one?
No, it was the hoodie. It's a SteelSeries hoodie. It's a female version of it though. So if you are female and you are a bit cold, then you can win a hoodie in that package. And a SteelSeries cap, hat and mousepad. Basically QCQ. Obviously best mousepad ever made. And the third package is basically the same, but you get a sword. And who doesn't need a sword, right?
A sword.
That's pretty cool. And then we have a special package, the fourth package, which is actually my parents make ceramics. So when you're having a hot chocolate or coffee, you could have those. And also a candle, what do you call it? Candle holder and candle. So there's a lot of nice stuff here to actually compete for.
And you can also compete for a private date with Autumn.
Yeah, obviously.
No, I'm just kidding, sorry.
I'm kidding too. So those, we're gonna remind you guys during this broadcast, but these are just some of the stuff that you're actually in chance of having a shot at getting. So we're gonna get back to that. But I think we're actually gonna also talk a bit about, because the elephant in the room, Dead by April should have been here. They can't be here, unfortunately, but they will also...
Is it because it's not April?
Oh.
What? I didn't get that one.
Well, they're called Dead by April.
No, it's December now.
So they're already dead.
They're already dead, yeah. That's pretty grim, though, talking about Reaper and stuff. But they're gonna be here in spirit, and you're also gonna have a chance to win one of their hoodies. And they're gonna be with us in video form later on. So we will just continue talking, I guess, because we have a lot more time to fill. Fun times. But
we're good at talking.
Yeah, you're good at talking, right?
Yeah, I can talk about everything. Like, put me in a super quiet room and I'll fill it up.
So what's your first thought then, if you're in a quiet room?
If I'm in a super quiet room, like, the first thing I usually bring up is super odd facts that I, by some reason, know. Or I bring up what part of a human I would eat.
Okay. Do you know this fact? Do you know that there's an animal called an elephant seal?
Yes! Did you know that fruit flies have sperm that's 2 millimeters long?
I did not know they even had sperm, to be honest, not the measurement.
Boom!
Boom, mind blown.
Yep.
I can say that I have a question for you, because you are also a girl and a gamer. And did you ever online, like, did people treat you differently when they knew you were a girl?
Yes, definitely yes. But when it comes to me being a girl in the gaming, I would say the most people that treat me different are other girls, to be honest.
Do you mean IRL, like in real life?
No,
or online?
Online. Like, or both IRL and online. Usually online when I play, the people I play with, they know I'm a girl because of my nickname, or we've got together through friends or through a forum, so they already know, and it's not a big deal. Some guys can be real like, oh, you're a girl, so it's really nice to see you gaming. How good to see that other girls are gaming as well. And that can be a little bit like, okay, just shut up.
I remember, like, when I played Dota, and sometimes I would nick a name that made people really think that I'm a girl. And they would ask, like, are you a girl? And when I said yes, or rather those times that I said yes, they were like, oh, how tall are you? Are you beautiful? Where do you live? How old are you? And it's like, all this stuff that is not related to the game. It's like, what?
Yeah.
And sometimes when, let's say you kick their ass, they would be very aggressive.
Is this the same thing when you beat a girl at a game? Are they also aggressive?
To me, it doesn't matter who. If
but
someone beats me,
we're talking about different things here. But if you play a girl in a
Yeah.
competitive game and they lose, can they be aggressive as well?
Yeah.
Towards the girl, you mean?
Towards you.
Towards me, if I lose, like
No,
the
if
ones
they
on my
lose.
team, maybe.
Yeah.
No, I never
I'm
experienced
aggressive
that.
as hell. Like,
It was more like when I kicked someone else's ass and they knew I was a girl, they would be like, "Oh, I'm gonna beep you," and all that kind of stuff.
No,
is
but
like,
I'm just turning the question around
Okay.
because, like, obviously you can see it as specifically someone hazing a woman or doing so. I mean, it's not acceptable, of course.
No.
But I can be kind of mean to guys or girls or whoever because, like, I think I'm better than them.
Like, competitive gaming is aggressive, no matter how you turn on it.
How you look at it.
Yeah. I can be super aggressive against the people I'm playing at, and I've had my best friends being super competitive and super angry at me when they've lost against me, and so on. But I don't know why, but I've never really... Of course, I've had the typical problem with being a girl in a male-dominated world, but the problems are bigger than that. It's not only for girls. Like, the guys experience being called gay if they're bad.
Yeah, exactly.
It's... it's aggressive no matter what.
I mean, I guess we have experienced that as well because people don't know that we are girls, or it's very unlikely that we are girls. For example, I have one episode, I was playing League of Legends, and there was one guy on my team, and he was very friendly with me, and we continued to chat afterwards, like, oh, should we go for another game, and so on. And then my boyfriend got home, so I said, oh, just give me like 5 seconds. I want to just go and say hi to my boyfriend. He just got home. And then we continued to play, and a few days later we would play again. And for some reason, I got to say that I was a girl to him, and he was like, oh, I really thought you were gay because you had a boyfriend. He didn't even think of that I could be a girl.
Oh, you weren't talking through the microphone? Or
yeah, we were. No, just texting.
Then it's kind of hard to know, though, what gender
but he
someone is.
was rather thinking that I was a homosexual guy than actually being a girl playing League of Legends. And I think that's an interesting thought.
Yeah, definitely.
But are girl unicorns in gaming or not? Because, like, you look at all the statistics and it's telling us that there are a lot of girls. To me, a lot of girls playing Candy Crush is not a lot of gamers, that's a lot of Candy Crush players. Like, how do you feel about that whole statistics versus the reality
About that
thing?
statistics, there's like statistics that say that many like middle-aged women play mobile games, but sometimes I wonder, do they know if it's actually the woman herself who plays the game, or is it her children playing games on her phone? I don't know if they take that into account or so.
But I can guarantee you that a lot of moms are playing Candy Crush.
Yes, of course there are people playing. I'm just,
I might be provoking a bit as well, I don't mean to, but the whole like, oh, is it many girls that actually play games or not, is kind of outdated.
Yeah, of course
Like,
it is.
it's
But
like,
you don't know if you don't know, right?
No, exactly.
Or
but
they could have had this experience like I had, like they tell that they're gonna rape me because they know I'm a girl, and yeah, I stopped telling people that I was a girl because I didn't want to face this behavior.
Of course, no one wants to face that.
But
behavior.
why does it matter if there's a lot of girls playing or a lot of guys playing?
No, it doesn't matter really.
Exactly. And like we say like, oh, but it's 50% girls that are also playing, but those games are mobile games, blah 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 blah. Well, who the fuck cares? I'm sorry. Förlåt. Jag svor.
No, but my point is, what my point is basically, Candy Crush isn't really the same kind of PC gaming or console gaming that most people refer to as gaming.
Definitely not. But at the same time, and this is kind of what Musikhjälpen and Videohjälpen is for me, that we're all human beings. It doesn't matter. Nothing is better than the other, and
It's still play games.
Exactly.
So you think because I see it as we come from a very competitive thing where the first thing we did was shoot ourselves in the face or someone else in the face in Quake. Do you think that mentality seeps into everything else? Like we're elitist in gaming, like, oh, you're not a real nerd or you're not a real gamer because you play I mean, for me it's very simple. That's where it comes from. Because Quake is the real game and everything else is shit. You can see that on the forums every day. Yeah,
definitely. And I think we are up against a challenge where the elitism, excuse my pronunciation, is getting bigger and bigger, and we have to stop it before it gets too big.
Or too toxic.
Too hard. You know what I mean, hopefully.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. So, who cares? Is that bad to say?
No, but I would say for me, like someone playing hackers, they're still a gamer or gaming or whatever. But it's not like the gaming I am in, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
I would recommend, this is a really good series. Have you seen the series Video Game High School?
No, but I've heard about it.
Yeah, it's super old, like it's 10 years old now, something like that. And they actually bring this up. They have a competitive FPS team, they have like fighter teams, they have mobile game players and everything, and they go to a school. And it's such a huge problem because the FPS players get all the money and like all the sponsorships and everything like that. And the mobile gamers, they sit downstairs in like the basement and play on the super crappy old computers. They don't have any internet, there's water through the roof and everything. And like really look at that. It's a really funny series anyway. And you should really look at it because it gave me a lot of perspective in the whole question.
Yeah.
It's really funny as well. We should watch it.
But I think you can see that pattern in many different kinds of contexts. For example, there are different kinds of cosplayers as well. I mean, there will always be, all can be gamers, but there can be different kinds of gamers. Like, yeah, you could be an FPS gamer, but I'm a MOBA gamer, maybe.
Yeah. And each is its own community in a sense as well.
Yeah.
Probably a community in Candy Crush as well. Some Chinese 12-year-old who beats the game in 12 seconds or beats all the levels and kills the app or something. I mean, there's like from that down to like, I'll play it.
Oh, did you see that they've actually beaten a record now in James Bond GoldenEye?
GoldenEye is one of my favorite speedrunning games.
Yeah, they've just beat it. Like it's
like 3 seconds quicker, right, or something like that.
Yeah, and it's been 11 years since someone last beat it. They didn't think it was possible, and now they've actually beat it. It was like the video of his reaction when he beat it. Like he was crying his eyes out. His girlfriend came into the room and was like, "What's happening? Are you having a heart attack? Are you dying?" Sorry,
actually, that's one of the best movies about gaming I watched is King of Kong. Have you watched that?
No.
It's about the record holder for Donkey Kong in different arcade versions.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's a must-see for people who like old school video games and competitive gaming.
I saw some documentary about an old arcade game, and it was one of these games where you just want to survive for as long as possible. So they were playing for days straight. Yeah. And that is like.
How do they poop?
they could collect if they like collected some stuff, they would get one additional life. So what they would do is like they would gather so they had 99 lives, and they would just leave the game, run and do whatever they needed to do, and then they would come back and it's like, oh, I still have 10 lives left, and because it was the game was just run and you would die, and you would die. And you would die, and that gave them kind of like 7 minutes or something.
When you said like, oh, they were collecting stuff, I was like, in a bucket?
No. Collecting like an apple in the game or something, then they get a life, you know. Good.
So sorry?
Ni kan kanske, vi har 3 minuter kvar.
Yeah.
Kanske kan nämna projektet Videohjälpen och lite vad som
Yeah, sure.
pengar går till.
But actually we're gonna do 1 more hour.
Oh.
So we're gonna be here, man.
But it's
But
still
we,
a really
obviously
good
that's why
reminder.
we're here. So if you donate 100 Swedish krona, which is one of the funniest English words to pronounce, you can actually support 1 hour of a psychologist help for a kid and start the rehabilitation process. So 100 Swedish krona for someone who's in gaming is probably not that much because their computer is like 2,000 euros or more. So even the smallest thing actually helps, and it's together that we're doing this, right? Together with Videohjälpen. So even if one person donates 1 Swedish krona, and if 10,000 do that, that's 10,000. So it's very, very important, obviously, because it's a very important cause, and that's why we're here.
Definitely.
And obviously, thank you for United Screens for having us here. It's their project, but we're lucky to be part of it.
Thank you for being here.
One thing that's really good to know as well, like this entire cause is for children trafficking, and a lot of the process. Oh, I'm bouncing the mic. Sorry. A lot of the work they actually do is building safe zones for kids and for children's. And these safe zones mean a lot for the people that are in these problems. Safe zones mean for us that live on the internet and live in this sort of area, we take the safe zones of our homes or of our schools like a big thing, but in this sense a safe zone means just a place where they don't have to be afraid of. I'm teared up, sorry, but this is something that means a lot to me, but it's a zone where they don't have to worry about being sold. So it's something really important, and I know this is kind of weird, but as we're sitting here, I will be donating as well. So if I can sit here and do this and donate, so can you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like everyone can donate something. Like even if you are a bit short on cash, like 5 kronors is 5 kronors more than before. So
It's always something.
Yeah.
yeah.
And maybe you can help me with this. For every person that donates 100 crowns while the time we're here, I'll double that and donate it as well.
That is really nice. So yeah, it's an important cause, and it makes everything else feel kind of unimportant in a way. So I think everyone should help out, and you also get to have a chance at getting some amazing stuff as well. Yeah, it's a bit hard to go from that to something else, isn't it? But
it is, but it's really important. I'm not gonna put in my pinned well-being.
Yeah,
I almost
that might.
did that.
Yeah.
All right, so if I can do it, you can do it. It's not harder than that.
Cool. I think we're gonna take a short break because we have some more amazing stuff coming up that needs some preparing. But stay tuned, and we will be right back in like 5-10 minutes, guys.